Welcome to the Be the Lead podcast. I'm Brent Yates. Here we go. So today I bring you my oldest granddaughter, Ava Yates, from Columbus, sometimes Mansfield, Ohio, but we're all born and raised in Ohio, and we're here in Nashville, as you can see by the guitars, and we've been here a couple days having some fun, some pool time. What was your favorite meal while we were here in Nash?
Probably the pizza that we got.
Pizza. So the mafiosos, is it mafiosos? How you say that?
I have no idea. I had the same thing. I couldn't figure out how to say it, but it was good pizza. They're huge slices.
Yeah, they are big slices. And so Ava and I, obviously, from a business perspective or knowing exactly what I do in life, especially the last couple years with Be the Lead and writing a book and what that's all about. And of course, we don't sit down and talk about that. She's got her own life and with cheerleading in school and just being Ava Yates. So we talked a little bit about it today, what I'm trying to do and some of the influences that we're trying to have and agreed that we just have a conversation about maybe some influences in our life, her DNA. When I talk about influences, it's her mom and dad, it's her teachers, her grandma and grandpa, her Mimi, that I know she loves dearly. But all those influences are just that. They're influences. They're people really talking into Ava's life about what they want for Ava's life. And at some point, as we get towards a junior and senior in high school, like it's going to be about Ava and what Ava wants and where Ava's going. And I think our kids today have so many pressures, and social media is a big factor, and what they're eating is who they are, whether it's the influences from grandma and grandpa or mom and dad, but social media is in her ear all the time. And so first question would be, Ava, is like those influences that aren't mom and dad, and maybe they're teachers at school or bullies or people that pick on you or vice versa. But kind of what are the pressures that you see going into middle school that kind of influence who you are and how you behave?
I would definitely say just making sure that you feel right. Like some people will try and change to make sure that they are who they want to be in the school. They want to change their image on people, and sometimes that can be a good thing. Like someone can have a bad past and want to change their image and show that they can be a good person, but other times people will go from a good sweet person and they'll change their style, their attitude, the way they behave. They'll ditch their grades, for a lot of different things. And I have always, I want to have a good image, but want to be myself at the same time. And that's not always easy, but, I work hard and, I go to school. I talk to my friends. I do good in all my classes, and then I come home. And that's kind of my motive is, do what you need done for the day, because you don't need to do pointless stuff that's not going to benefit you or that's just wasting your time. There's lots of stuff you can do. Like talking is fine, like at lunch and stuff. You have a lot of things you can catch up on with your friends, but not doing good on your grades or not caring about your homework and doing your homework late at night, like that's not stuff that I want to do. So obviously I'm going to have more homework than I'm used to, so I'm always just going to make sure that I come home and I do my homework and I get a good sleep and, I have a good dinner and breakfast, and yeah.
Awesome. Many times we talk about, or I talk about, living in the now. And as you can see, Ava's strong-willed, great spirit, smart girl. But living in the now, whether it's my mood, whether it's your mood, when you come home from school, some influence has changed the way that you woke up to the way that you get home at the end of the day. And I think that kids today, I mean, they're evolving so fast with social media and the influences they have, and just, everything coming at them. And not that it was that much different 20 years ago, but at the same time, getting the mindset of, like living in the now. Let now define you is a tough thing to do, maybe easier for me to say, but there's a process that goes along with that. Letting today define you, not so much maybe what embarrassed you yesterday or something you said that maybe everybody laughed about or whatever that is. But as we evolve, and as we evolve really quick, us coming to the place of, I'm going to live in today. Yesterday's not going to bother me, and I'm going to let now define me. What does that mean to you when I say, let today define me, not yesterday?
Um, I think it kind of is saying, kind of let go of the past. Obviously, some bad things happen in the past and good things happen in the past. So you have to kind of let those go. You can always remember them, but you have to kind of let them go. If you said something you didn't mean yesterday, it's you say your apologies and you move on. You don't let them sit and ruin your day and stuff like that. Maybe something happened yesterday and you don't want, and it's really hard to make it through the day with all of that sitting on your chest or all that weight on your shoulders. So I think that it kind of means to let go and not let what happened yesterday make you the person you are now.
Cool. Great answer. I think as we, those that have been on our website know that kind of the things that are important for me, and you and I talked earlier about, like, I've had to work really hard on me. We all have our faults, and the world comes at us, and we're influenced different ways in our lifestyles. But I've had to work hard on me to be able to sit here with you today, to have compassion. Compassion didn't come easy for me, but now it does. I have feelings. I get connected. But I think for me, when I wake up in the morning, like I'm talking about being grateful. I'm talking about, can I make somebody's day? I'm talking about faith. And for me, like, the more I get of that, the more I eat of that, the better I am. And the more I want to influence others in the right way and have a conversation with you about that. And so I think when I look at my life, had I been more mindful around faithful, around generosity, and gratefulness, like I got up this morning, I went outside in the sun and I sat there and I just realized, how blessed I am. And it's one thing to be blessed, but acknowledging that we're blessed is the foundation for abundance. And for us to take that into our lives and think that way, why can't you wake up in the morning and really go, okay, here's how abundant I am today, and here's how I'm going to start my day. How does that sound to you, or what do you think of that when I say that?
I think a lot about, what most people, not most, but some people don't do that in the morning. Their first thing is to get ready and go to work. And I like to have my priorities straight, and I do. I wake up and I like feeling refreshed, and, I'm very happy. I go down and see my family, I go see my dog. So I think what that means is kind of just making your life feel important. Laying in bed for hours on your phone and not getting up and being productive, not getting ready, not trying to do hard in school is something that will really change your life. And it doesn't always impact it in a good way. And it most likely won't impact it in a good way. So it's important that you have motivation and you really have the opportunity. You open your windows, you let in the sun. It's really important that you have a get at it attitude, or else
Awesome.
things won't go great.
Love that. And so, anybody listening realizes by the sunshine that comes through her eyes that she actually gets that. And there's a lot of kids that don't get that influence. So, today that's all a big part of that. So programming influences. 4 or 5 years ago, when it seemed like the school shootings were happening like every other month, and a gentleman named Jason Seymour, school teacher in Noblesville, Indiana, was shot 3 times. A few kids were also shot. And at that time, it was like 4 or 5 deep. It seemed like within a year. And I said to Christina, I said, hey, I want to go meet this guy. And it was like 3 days. He was still in the hospital. And I was like, let's get through to this guy. I want to go meet him. I think he could be the poster guy for let's program differently. Let's think of that differently. Instead of putting a backpack, a bulletproof backpack on, let's figure out inside our system, how do we program our kids differently? How do we get them to realize at an early age, if they're not getting it from mom and dad, that it's not cool, it's never good, you never bring a gun to school, you never think of life and death in your hands. We've got to program them differently. So we went over and saw him, and he was all bandaged up and he had a young child. But my idea of the program and being diligent in what Ava just talked about is, finding sunshine, going and seeing her dog. I talked about faithfulness and generosity, but programming is so important and being diligent about that programming. So, long story short, Jason did not want to move forward with kind of being the poster guy, and we've had problems with that in our country. But our government needs to set forth a program every day. If it's opening when they talk to you over the loudspeaker, whatever that's called, like it's about, hey, that's never acceptable. It's never a way. It's never a way out. And don't ever, we've got to program differently. So if it's not coming from the house. So anyway, so as I think of that, and I go back to the programming that we just talked about, what we want to do going forward is kind of like a workshop where Ava takes a few, like it's hard to teach Ava a whole lot right there, because she had some really great ideas on, just how to wake up and how to find gratitude. But I think what we're talking about, what we want people to hear is just that. So whether we're doing it Ava's way or we're doing it my way, it's all the same. How do we get grateful? How do we acknowledge that in our lives? So that's all a really good conversation. So one of the things that, do you call her Mimi? Mimi, right? Christina, my wife, has said for all our grandkids is at 13, they all get to take a trip with us. And what we also said is we'll do a day of helping others. And I talked to you a couple days ago about, what does that look like? What do we need to set up for? And your idea was, hey, if I have a business, I'm going to help them to understand my business and maybe help them do something in that regards. So talk to us about what you think of as a career or helping others, or, do you want to impact people? I think we all do, but could that be a career for you?
Well, for starters, I look at my family, you guys, my dad, my mom, and you especially, and they do a lot in the business industry. So your dad had his own business and he passed it down to you and you passed it down to dad. And I thought that was really amazing. And I've noticed as I've gotten older that a lot of my family has taken a career in the having their own business or starting a business. And, my dad, he's done a lot of things. He owns the salon suites. He has funded and co-founded some credit cards and debit card companies. And so I was like, I'm 12 years old, but I can still do something. So, my idea was kind of to start something small. And my idea was kind of bracelets. I like doing different designs. I like getting crafty. I'm not very good at drawing or anything like that, but I like creating stuff. I create signs for my door. I create posters for my room. At one point for 2 years, 4 years ago, I was at my aunt's house and I made a dog bed. And I kept it for 2 years just in case I ever got a dog. I made it with stuffing and bedding. And, my idea was to create bracelets. There are these special bracelets, and they're called clay beaded bracelets. And so you can create a bunch of different designs on a string. And, they're really cute, and they are relatively good quality compared to some other bracelets. And, rubber band bracelets, those are cool. I do those. So that was just kind of my idea, and I wanted to donate a little bit of to um, profit to charity, a percentage of the profit. I hadn't really sorted out the details, but a profit of what I make, because those can become really popular if you have a good business and word gets around, and kids and teenagers, they can be like really cute with outfits and stuff. So accessories are one of the things that sell a lot nowadays. Style is really important to a lot of people, and I think that's great. I like having a good style, and I like picking cute outfits and jewelry and stuff. So that was one of the things I had chosen.
Cool. That's a lot of good information and a lot of insight into how you might equip yourself into the future. So as we talk today, and what today is several segments about, is how can we be more mindful? Obviously, a very mindful young lady here, but I don't think most people are thinking as maybe as forward as what I feel like. I didn't know what I would exactly hear today, so I think what we're talking about is even taking that to the next level. So, I'm working on me every day. I want to go higher. I want to be better. I want to be better for you, my kids, my family, my businesses. And I think that, that legacy of always trying to go to the next level is what I want to leave behind, that no one just shows up, does their job, and goes home. We're trying to impact, whoever's in our sphere of influence. And it sounds like you're on a good track to do so. So when I look at how do we be even more programmed, right? Because I don't have it all figured out. I know you don't have it all figured out, but we're on good tracks. How are we going to, is it going to be influenced by books? Mimi is now getting ready to do every week a book that has impacted her. So I think that would be good for you. But being more diligent than even what you are by the sunshine of the dog, like let's write it down. Let's take notes. Let's see how it affects you and others around you. Because at the end of the day, if we're going to be influencers, we're going to have to live what we're talking about. And so if we can change just a little bit the way we're programming, the way we're being more diligent to be faithful, to be generous, and we really haven't talked about the generosity piece, but what a blessing. When living is giving, and you know what it feels like. I can see it in your eyes. I mean, what if we focus more on that than we did ourselves? What a beautiful place to be. When's the last time that could have been a sister, a friend, that you gave something that you felt like, oh boy, that felt really good?
I can't remember a recent one off the top of my head, but for Father's Day, I do remember I got my dad a keychain, and I had a bow when I was like 4 years old that said "Daddy's Girl," and I loved that bow because I love my mom. I always miss my mom, but I love my dad. I did a lot of stuff with my dad, so for his birthday or for Father's Day, I got him a keychain that said, "You will always be my superhero, and I will always be your little girl." And that meant a lot to me, and he still keeps it, and it has lettering on it so that if you shine a flashlight through it, it will go onto the wall. And that gift meant a lot to me because I love my dad with all of my heart, and he's really important to me, and I realized that I've noticed everything that he does for me, and so that was one of the really important gifts. But I do every now and then I'll get my sister or my brother. Yesterday when we went shopping, I got both Bly, my sister, I got her a cute little top, and then I got my brother sweatpants. So I think of everyone all the
That's
time.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, you and I, like most relationships, when there's a big gap in age, and what I hope that we get from today is a new connection. You to have an understanding that everyone around you is influencing you, but I have a direct goal for you. And that goal is to influence you to take in more mindfulness, to be more prepared when it's time for you to fly. And how time is flying, and it won't be long before Ava gets to go, I want to go be a model. I want to be an influencer. I want to go to college. Whatever it is that you want to do, I want you to have the tools to be prepared to make that decision, because soon it's only going to be about you, and it's not going to be about what everybody else wants for you. If you're going to be happy, it's got to be what Ava desires to make out of this life. So what I want to take away from today as we stare into each other's eyes is, that I have a desire to help you get there in a better way. And I'm really thankful that we got this time together today. And what I want to do on the next time is to give you some tools and go, let's be more mindful about how we're looking at life and what we're doing and where we're going next. And that receiving giving thing, that giving receiving thing, let's make that a bigger part of our life, because it is such a magical circle to be in. So I thought I would teach you more today than what I think I did, but I think you see my passion for you, and can't wait to have Kinley on the next time. And she's the next oldest, and how precious she is, and you're all precious to me, and I'm really proud that we got this time together.
Me too.
Awesome. Thanks for listening. Find more resources on BeTheLead.me.